books will show up. Or basically, this thing is in low power mode. So it may shut off, but I'm hoping that it won't. Because I'm not going to stay on here very long. I'm just hoping one of y'all show up. Because then I could turn it off. See? Okay, see, listen, at least you showed up. I said I'm on low battery mode. I was going to start over again. So, when you have certain events in your life, usually events where somebody has caused you irreparable harm, there always comes up this topic of forgiveness, just like, you talk about these things, especially like family gatherings. I just came from my cousin's wedding, and the reasons and the motivations why people do some of the shit that they do. And, sometimes I think that, and I know this as a fact, that due to our upbringing in the Abrahamic religions, not just Christianity, we've got this thing where we've got to forgive people. But Christianity even more so. Okay? Yeah, I'm going to say it's more Christianity because, Abrahamic religions, Jewish people, Muslim people, they're a bit hardcore, old school, Old Testament. But there's this, I read this book, and it was really a good book for me to read anyway. When I was a Christian, it was called When Christianity Doesn't Make Sense. And I was like, okay, I saw that title. I'm like, let me read this. Because I had people in my life that I was just, woo! The thing about forgiveness, and I don't think it's forgiveness, though. I think it's really the wrong word for this. It's not forgiveness, it's release. There's a big difference. And see, I think that often we're being told to be all ching spiritual, whether we're Christians or not, is that we have to forgive people. It really makes me angry when I see people whose family members are killed, and then they sit up and they say, oh, I forgive them. Bitch, no you don't. Stop. Okay? Because if that happens, I don't even understand that. Because I know that the average human being is going to go home and there's going to be some holes punched in walls, screaming at God to be done. So I think it's really bullshit and a real misrepresentation of forgiveness when people say that shit. And I'm going to tell you why people say that. And and this thing says it has 10%. I'm going to go because I don't want it to get shut off. Maybe I'll get my cord and I'll come back. People say that so they can feel good about themselves. The only way they figure that they're going to survive is to forgive this person. I can't live with that type of anger in my heart. Yes, and you will. Okay? But often, especially people who are not in Christian religions, we actually see the point sometimes when someone becomes an ancestor. We've now become awake to certain reasons why some very unfortunate things have to happen. But you know how people get when they get saved? They be like, oh, now that I found the love of Jesus. Well, now that I have found the love of my ancestors, and now that I have found the love of my spirits, and the way our religions are shaped, because they're not about, things being perfect as long as you worship a certain way. It's not the way it works in most pagan religions. Shit can happen because shit can happen. And it really makes me upset because sometimes readers, diviners, healers, we get sick. Cancer, a lot of us like to smoke, so just stop lying if you say you don't. They smoke one thing or another. I mean, one of the most popular, knowledgeable men in the Conjure community died at 38. And so we know that unusual things can happen that we may or may not get an answer to, but we damn sure find out the reason why. because we're in contact with the energy of those people. So we start to get certain messages, certain things, certain understandings, and certain understandings aren't always nice, and they're not always settling. So, this whole thing about when people wrong us, this forgiveness thing, and I hear even non-Christians say it, and I don't understand it. Forgiveness has nothing to do with letting go of bitterness. Living because the way that person who has gone would want you to live. Not say like the person who killed him wanted you to live. That is release. That ain't got shit to do with whether I would still hold that person accountable for what that person did to me. We've had 17 children murdered in Florida. And this boy had, it's like I think that people who do that, there's got to be something wrong with anybody that commits a crime like that. So I don't know about insanity ever being a defense. But he'd be one dead-ass black man. Trust and believe that. And so I still have to even ask myself why even white folks don't mind watching their own children die as long as they can have their guns. I can't forgive that. Now, one day it won't hurt as bad because I'm somebody's mother, so I know how that would feel. I know. I have no fucking idea how that would feel. And I don't ever want to. So, I want you to know, especially if you're going through some shit or somebody's hurt you or something bad has happened to you that was not your fault, because sometimes we fuck our own selves up. It happens. But if any of that stuff happened to you, you don't have to forgive that person to start feeling good again. You can just feel good because you survived. You don't have to forgive that person. But we do have to decide that whatever tried to hurt us, person, place, or thing, tried to hurt us, is not going to win. We're not going to let someone who wanted us dead or emotionally damaged, we're not going to worry about this person no more. This person no longer has a hold on my life, control on my life, real estate in my brain. Not giving a fuck. They said words, there's when you love somebody, you hate them. When you hate them, you even still got a chance that you all might get together and fuck or something. But when you are indifferent about someone, that's when it's over. When you just don't give a fuck. There's no emotional investment in disliking, hating, or whatever that person. That your energy goes into healing you. But that has nothing to do with excusing what that person did. I don't give a fuck. If that's what forgiveness is, that shit's not for me. It's just not. But we have to be better than the shit that fucked us up. For us, not for them, in spite of them. So sometimes the people who are closest to you are going to be the people who break your heart. And it's okay to walk away. But walk away feeling settled. Being, strong in your conviction that sometimes, no matter who a person is or how much you love them, they're extremely toxic for you to be around. And don't feel bad about walking away from that, because sometimes it's necessary. I'm going to get off before my phone dies. Bye, everybody.